Hi everyone, Comic Reviewer here. This time reviewing another Ghibli film, and this one is on The Wind Rises. Now, The Wind Rises is a 2013 animated historical drama film that was written and directed by Hayao Miyazaki, as well as being based on the true events and life story of Jiro Horikoshi, who was an engineer who designed many Japanese fighters during World War II, and eventually the movie is meant to be based on his life story with some alterations. Now, the premise of the film is meant to take place from 1918 from 1945. We're introduced to a younger Jiro who dreams of becoming a pilot, but because of his nearsightedness, he can't do it. But after being encouraged in his dreams and after reading magazines of a famous designer known as Giro Vanni, who was also a Italian aerodynamic engineer who encourages him to follow his dream. And we see how Jiro goes from going to university and to eventually getting himself a job designing fighter planes, like mainly for the Imperial Army, as well as being designed by the Mitsubishi Group. So throughout it, we see how Jiro and his friend Kyo Hongyo, who was actually an actual person, and together you can kind of tell they both kind of play the role of using each other's ideas. They're both good friends, and they both try and work on their ideas. And throughout their adventures, we see how they see the effects of Japan's economy, how basically they're more back from the times, and we kind of see the starting points of World War II from Germany. And we kind of see how Jiro ends up meeting the same girl he helped out when an earthquake happened when he was heading to university, known as Naruko. Now, Naruko's character is that he always kind of has faith in Jiro and is kind of meant to play the part in helping him see his potential. And I feel, in a way, she does kind of work. And there's more truths about her, and you kind of learn that she's not going to be around forever. And throughout the movie, we see how Jiro tries to create the perfect airplane, which was eventually the Mitsubishi A5M. And at the same time, we see how people work together to create the perfect plane. And like a business, there is always going to be a few missteps. There's always going to be a few hit and misses. But the point of the film is about accomplishing your goal and making sure you create the perfect project to meet the deadline. And I've seen this in my dad's business when he's on his conference calls and they always expect him to find the answers and results, which I can kind of relate to. Now, my only real problem with the film is the ending. I feel like instead of a dream sequence, you could have had Jiro and Kiro basically on top of the hill now that Japan's lost World War II and wondering what their goals could be, and then deciding to start something bigger. This would have been more like a metaphor to kind of carry on from one defeat but focus on another thing. And I also feel the ending, just having it as a dream, doesn't really work. It just makes you wonder if he's dead or if he just died. But no, it's meant to be a dream sequence. And I get the point of Giovanni is meant to be his metaphor to keep moving on and kind of soldier on despite what people do. And I would say, as a movie, it knows what it wants to do. It shows you the downside of Japan's economy, as well as soldiering on from your failed projects, and as well to kind of focus on your goals and knowing the full consequences of some of them. So I think the movie deserves a thumbs up. Still good and still alright. So, Comic Reviewer here, signing out.